Okay, hello and welcome to the second episode of All-in-One, the modded one block series. So, for this particular episode, what we're gonna do, we need to first start off by harvesting some wood, which thankfully I've been planting a bunch of trees because we needed a lot of wood for just continuing to build and stuff. I also got a bunch of cobble, as you can see. We got a bunch of gravel from that using the mills. Use the mills to get free gravel infinitely by just chucking cobble in there, and we've got a bunch of grass. We've got the farm started over there, and essentially we'll just be able to go through with that to be sustainable for now. The other things that we do want to do are actually in the quests. We don't just want to build an encased fan and go that route for getting a bunch of iron. There's an easier way, and what I mean by that is there's actually a very specific thing. Well, what's it called? It's in here, the one block ex nihilo generator. So the placement blocks, we got graves, we've got the maker, the remove, then we've got the generator. So we need that. Interesting, because I don't know how we're gonna get Gaia's spirit right now, because that is a later game thing unless I break this, which is unfortunate. Oh, we get one for getting 4 iron, so we need 22 iron, we need an iron pickaxe, and we need a mana lens. Is there a way to get that? What? Did we get a mana lens for something? Actually, it's looking like we are going to need to make the encased fan anyway, which is unfortunate because very interesting. We need a damaging mana lens, which we need a Rune of Wrath, which means that we need to either do an entire another quest to get that or something else. Looks like we just need to go back to mining, and let's just claim all of the rewards real quick because we're definitely going to get something. But again, we're going to get a bunch of stuff that's just going to fill up our inventory as well. So we just got to make sure that we're keeping everything relatively where it needs to be. We got a botany pot, which I also got the materials for us to make my goal for in between episodes. So, and then make ourselves those into, as we want the hopping variety so that we don't have to do certain things. We're also going to place down most of these ores. They're not particularly useful as they are. As you can see, I also got, so we won't really have to worry. I don't know if you guys also saw, but I made an entirely new, as well as a sword. So the katana, mostly the axe, because it doesn't seem to want to work on normal dirt, like turning it into farmland. So it was a little difficult to get used to. But the reason why I have the pickaxe set up this way is because we essentially just need to mine for a bit, and I should probably get sounds. Okay, the game sounds seem to be back up. I don't know why they keep cutting out, but the one block and mining that, because we're not going to get a ton of progress unless we're mining that. The other thing that I wanted to do, and this is going to be where we're going to put the melon seed. Rich soil, is that going to be in the botany pots? Good. It's not actually that good. Interesting. Versus the rich soil is minus. Okay, so the rich soil is 1 second difference versus this, which means that to get rich soil, which we need rotten flesh, we need bone meal, and tree bark is when we cutting board, I guess a mattock will work, a machete. Okay, is there a way for us to get straw? Potentially having rice be another one. Rice is what you put into the botany pots to give us the rice, which means that we need an additional botany pot, which means we need more iron still, which means we still need to go the encased fan route, which means we need to go through the tinkers. So tinker, we need to go through the normal route. Is there a new recipe? Because it means that we can do this just like normal. The only issue being that is there a way to get renewable sand? Is there a way to get sand some other method? Which means we need to get ourselves a good old-fashioned little bit of an energized smelter. And then in addition to that, we also are going to need a metallurgic infuser. I think we can work on those as well, but for now, okay, there we go, there we go, there we go, perfect, and we get 9 more straw. I also have straw bales, means we have extra straw regardless. What else do I need for the organic? Ultimately, I think that, okay, we need bone meal, which is just going to be, what, a composter? So, organic compost, we need bone meal, which cutting board on, or I forget how to make a compost. How do I forget how to make a compost? Get all of you guys, and then we get you guys, and then I guess I can put excess seeds in here. We don't need a ton of... Okay, we got bone meal, our first piece of bone meal. just gotta make sure that, okay, we have 2 bone meal, which is how much we need. I can use most of the resources that we already have, but what I should probably do, no, we're doing this before I set up botany pots. I want to make sure that I do it right. So we're going to do it once we have all the stuff that we need in order. We need to make sure that we're not losing the bone meal. Why do I keep letting the bone meal fly away? For it to turn into that. Okay, cabbage is really good. I guess because of the biomass, but potatoes are really good. Potatoes and cabbage are really good. Wheat's still really good too. So we just gotta keep going like we have been. There we go. And we're at 13, which means that we need, okay, so we have the dirt. What else do I need? I need the tree bark. So what we can do, yes, we can just chuck that in there. Now we've got a bunch of wood. Oh no. 1 in the water, 1 on top of it, 1 to the side, and 1 like sped up by sunlight. Adjacent water, adjacent activators are more compost. But essentially this will compost and then we can take care of that. I do think though that getting the rice set up first is going to be the most. So I do think that getting that set up first is get ourselves the rice set up. This will fill up with rice eventually. I mean, hopefully placed like that, just so that we get extra space for everything to store. And now it's time to mine. So we are at hardened stone, which is from Silent Gems. Potentially could be a good resource. Comparatively, it is a obsidian level shipping synergistic with incredibly high durability. So potentially we could combine that with a gold and something else in order to make something very cool. I don't exactly what of Silent Gems things are the most efficient or best ways of doing certain things. I need to make sure that I'm gathering certain materials like the granites and properly safely stored. So coal is gonna go in there from now on. And then the rubies and garnets and everything else are gonna go in. Hardened stone will keep. What other stones do I actually need in underground? I need to get diorite as well. That's not too bad. Oh, we got the full classic set of gems now, I guess. And chaos crystals. I know I still do need a better, a better shovel, but that's not the biggest of my concerns right now. I really want to make sure that we're going to fully, but most of that's going to require us to get a bunch of us in the right spaces, and we're able to actually properly go through everything. I mean, we're getting a good amount of everything that we probably should start making, although I don't necessarily know how a fort is going to be useful for, but I do know that it's going to be rather useful, so make sure that I have a good handle on where it is. We're going to need not a considerable amount of it, because I do think I know that I know what I knew. I mean, who really cares, honestly? This is quite interesting. We're just kind of vibing with it, and a little less of all of the different Silent Gem ores. It's not too big of a deal that I'm going to like complain about it, because honestly getting all these cool gems is going to be really helpful for making good tools that are consistent and last for a while. So gravel for you guys, and I gotta refill them up. Even more gravel, because it is going to be useful in the future to get iron and other stuff. And I know this because even higher rates of stuff, which is what we need in order for us to, and we can take it a little bit slow. The main issue is that I need a bunch of iron for the quests. I guess isn't too big of a deal. It's just like, I don't need to grab all of you guys. Thankfully, the compost stuff is going rather quickly, so I don't have to worry a ton about that. Gravel, extra coal, fun. Grass, interesting. Cool, silverfish, monster hunter. We got monster hunter. That's, you know, that's a big achievement. Another silverfish, interesting. Okay, I mean, that's cool. It's cool and all. I just don't really have too big of a, like, what ends up spawning? Stone link. Didn't know those guys could spawn. You know that I just need so much, and at this point I probably should actually be working on, because I do think that that's going to be more efficient than us just mining through more of this. Let's just do it. Honestly, screw it. I'm not going to care too much anymore. We're at 4 rice pan. Regardless, if we have 16, I have 11 sand, 13 sand, that means that we do not have nearly enough to get a but as of right now, there's no real way for us to get infinite levels of sand. So for now, this is just how, which is fine. It's just a little unfortunate that it has to be this way. What I do think we can do in addition to it, the rich soil is growing. We could do a harvest, which is probably the best bet for right this second while we're waiting for the sun to come back up. Then we can work on and look through the quests and stuff that we actually need to, because I do think that looking through them is going to give us a little bit more clarity than we have right this second, or what we need to be focusing on and working towards, because I do want to make sure that we're not going like too far in one direction that doesn't really matter. Most of this stuff I don't know exactly how we're going to get it. Wait, we get mystical white petals and then we get the pure daisy to purify stuff. Wait, we just do that already. Is the petal apothecary. That's why it's telling us to go through the... Okay, gotcha. So what we can do is, because these are all petal blocks, we can use, which is great because then we can start working on Botania stuff that I thought was going to take us a lot longer. Why I was saying, oh, well, that's not going to be a thing that we're going to have to deal with. I just used one of the white petals, didn't I? That's great. Okay, how am I going to get those? I need white petal blocks. Don't have those. I may have screwed up a little bit. So I don't know if we have to reset off that, but that's a bummer, honestly. Is there a way to get back to a certain place? So we've got one block. Okay, so block catalyst, X analog generator, OB maker, OB remover, one block placement block, the generator, Gaia spirit, and mana lens is the issue. The mana lens is the bigger issue. So we need mana steel for that, which is dungeon chest stuff, or arc furnace recycling, which yeah, we can, because all we need for that is dye, and we can get dye from beetroot. I think we can, and we can get infinite beetroot from, so I guess we just start farming some beetroot. I mean, no reason not to, really. But that's a little bit of a bummer. Yeah, I mean, I've made those kinds of mistakes before, but dang, that was smart of me. Regardless, I know I'm gonna need stacks of, if the grout is seared bricking, shoot, we need more sand, so I need sand anyway. Oh, I need the crusher again, so I need to go through the full mechanism. Is gonna be osmium. How many osmium? So we need 1 osmium for that. We need for that, so 3 osmium, 4 osmium, 5, 6, 7 osmium. So we'll do a full 8 smelts. So we get 1 full charcoal worth of stuff. I can also make the seared heater real quick right now. And the reason why I'm doing this, by the way, is to get the plates in order to make the propeller for the fan. So there's actually no real reason for us to do... You know what? I'm smart with that. Yeah, wow. Okay. Let's just chuck that in here, why don't we? And we can make mechanical press cost. 2 small cogwheels, andesite casing. Probably should take the andesite and the other. And then we got the nuggets, we got the iron nuggets, and we need 2 of you. And then I need a block of iron. So that's gonna be 9 of our iron, which is right now, but that's fine. It's how much it needs, so I'm not gonna really complain about that. I also am gonna grab the rich soil because thankfully it is all complete. So, and I should probably make the andesite casing, I guess. So we need logs and wood. I only need 1 of the andesite casings for it right now, so we'll do that. Not very difficult to make, thankfully. Don't know why I hesitated so much. At least what I can do is I can large cogwheel into a smaller cogwheel. That's gonna be, yeah, so this guy's spinning faster, which is great. And it's gonna be perfect for us, because now what we can do is we can take that, we turn it into a block of iron, then we take it, we turn it into a mechanical press, we plop that down, and then now we just need more iron because we need a fan propeller, which is 4 iron plates, or more of our iron to be turned into that. And then I need my andesite alloy. For the fan, I'm going to need a cogwheel, 2 of the smaller ones, and an andesite casing. Then I'm gonna need a bucket of water and also potentially some more. So if I chuck all of them down, How many will it press at once? Did it do all of them? Did it just... Okay, it did all 3, but it looked like there was an extra one. I was very confused at whether we got 3 for 4 or 4 for 3 or whatever happened. Propeller, and then our... And the faster that the stuff spins, the better. So ideally we want another smaller... I can't. Okay. I plop you here, and then I put a... Okay, we can break that torch, we can plop it back there. I need a fan. I need another fan, which is not too bad. And what I'll also do is I'll make a little... And I can always add more water wheels if need be. Blowing or sucking. Blowing or pushing. That's both the same thing, right? I need another couple of the alloy. The issue is I need... Okay, let's just mine a bit, just so that we can hopefully get all the stone that we need. Because otherwise it's going to take a lot longer for us to get the amount of andesite and everything that we need. So let's just mine for a bit, see what happens, see if we get anything great. If we do, if we don't, it's fine. Doesn't matter. We just need to get 16 of each of the different diorite and andesite. Thankfully, it doesn't seem like they're too rare. It just seems like they're a little bit rare compared to ores, which is surprising because usually when you go underground, there's more stone there than there is ores, but... I mean, fair enough. Make sure that we're depositing stuff so we don't. I'm very concerned about potentially losing some of the good materials, which potentially I could just clear up my inventory and it'd be easier, but a bunch more of the materials and then we'll be able to continue along. So once we hit the 16 in andesite, probably gonna happen first because it looks like andesite's the most common, then we'll be able to go through. I do think, though, that we can get different resources from different encased fan things, like different different things that do actually matter. And what I mean by that is, like, I think sand gives gold, whereas gravel gives iron, which is cool. If you guys want to see me stream this, let me know. I will be to just read through the quest page for the overworld. So, rebuilding the world, building gadgets, we got that. Oh, I mean, there's nothing in... Apparently there's just nothing here, so that's fine. Screw it, I guess. There's just no real reason for us to have to worry. At least there's sand. It'd be very interesting if they could, but I do not think that that's a current. So right now we just need to keep mining, keep going at it. We got another thing of water, which I don't necessarily think is... Okay. Blue ice, terracotta, the red sand, another dirt chest. Void stone, got a cow, okay. I'm gonna need a lot more chests to go through just storing all of the random materials that we're gonna get, but I could have used that mycelium. We probably should do if we're going to. So let's chuck most of this stuff, grab most of that, we can chuck the extra random stuff in there. And it's agate, isn't it? Silky. So if we add silk touch to harvest tools, so if I make a hardened stone and then we add phospholite or impure, no, it's gonna be phospholite adds the big brittle, but it's fine. Because the whole point of this is to make a pickaxe that is not going to have to be super worrisome. Durability, rarity, okay, interesting. What about if I do it this way? That's so weird. So if I make sticks like normal, they're bad. Holy, that's a lot of phantoms. Okay, we got our first phantom. We got a soul gem, water and earth. Okay, interesting. What do I use it for? I don't know, I'm very concerned about the amount of phantoms up in the sky right now. It's a little bit much. Probably should chuck those in, and what we can do is we can chuck that in there. We got our silk touch to that. So we got our silk touch. The issue is just how many phantoms. What the... Okay, there's one coming down. They're just waiting for me to put myself in a vulnerable position. Like, I don't know what I can realistically do about them. Because I mean, I guess I could make a bow, but I just couldn't make arrows. Phantoms right now, because Phantom Membrane, I mean, I don't think we're getting an elytra anytime soon. So running slightly out of food. Okay, that's... Okay, we've got a stack of potatoes now. Got that. The phantoms are gonna start to burn soon. That's our singular llama, so let's just try and get you back on. Just gotta watch out, because there's so many phantoms. Okay, we got the beetroots, we got extra beetroot seeds, which means we're starting to get dyes, which is... I do also need a stack of beetroots, so that's a thing I gotta make sure that I'm keeping. Also, what I think I'm gonna do, because we still do not have the stuff that more andesite alloy is I'm going to do that to get 16 andesite, so then I can use it to make andesite alloy, so I don't have to worry about it. Day 9, cool. 4 more andesite alloy. The andesite in there. Got that, and now I need 8 buttons because we need the small. Wait, was it the small cogwheels that I need? Yeah, it is. Okay, so we need to reverse that, which thankfully is really easy because these mini cogwheels are great. So now it's blowing, which is perfect because what we'll be able to do is using. Do I make trapdoors again? It's that, right? Yep, it is. Okay, that's what I remembered. Utilize just. Ah, well, it doesn't matter. It's fine. So we've got that. We've got the wacky washy, and now we get ourselves some good old fashioned. Okay, you guys are really wanting to get in my way. Holy. Okay, there we go. Now we get ourselves some good old fashioned washing, and what we can also do is get a bunch of iron now. So let's just plop that down, So we can get infinite cobble through just sifting through dirt like this, because it means that we can just get infinite cobble. The thing that we're doing right now, though, is getting ores and everything else that we need. Got that. I need to re-pick up one of these guys, actually, so we can get that quest accomplished, because now we need crushed iron ore. But if I walk over here, we'll get a bunch of iron nuggets, which is great because it's just free iron. I'm gonna cook up the dough, and now we don't need to eat our melon slices, so those can get turned into seeds. We've got this already, which means that we can start just composting the living daylights out of our good old-fashioned fun potatoes, which is great because it means that we don't have to worry about carrying and holding on to potatoes anymore. Honestly, I'm happy that we're at the game that we are, because it's kind of fun. We're just kind of chilling, going through the motions. I do think we can more beetroot seeds, but okay, that makes sense, it's fair. We're going to take our iron ore, we're going to take the gravel out as well as the cobble. We are going to crush all of that iron ore. We're going to do the same with, I think lead works too. Lead, don't know if osmium works. It does, okay. Copper I know works. Gold works too, which is great. So we can also utilize tin works, okay. Silver probably works. Yep, great. So all of our ores will just turn into ore variants, which is great because we can just, and I still need the floral fertilizer, which means I need extra dye. So for the most part, it's not the end of the world. We're doing fairly good. Happy about it. I do think that poisonous potato we can use in the composter, which is great. Really have a need for pumpkins, so I think compost the pumpkins too. Perfect. And okay, let's see what else we can really do in the quests. So we need that. We need the diorite, which is just nether quartz and stuff. Nether quartz is of course nether quartz stuff for washing soul sand, which is interesting. This is the main thing that's going to be a little bit of an annoyance, which thankfully it doesn't look like we'll have to deal with a ton of. You think that removing everything from that guy is going to be helpful? Working through our great reserves of copper, and then I'm gonna start doing smaller. Okay, it looks like that's all washed, which is great, because now what we can do is we can just casually combine all of that into iron ingots, which is great because now we have 13 iron ingots. We can submit that guy. We can also turn that into a block of iron because we also need to submit the mana lens, which means that we also need the flowers for it. Snow into cake, which is great because that's a lot of stuff for us to take care of. But what? You know, interesting pumpkin placement, I guess. Fair enough. I need to breed more animals, which is one of the issues that I'm facing is that we need to breed animals. There's not enough animals spawning for us to be able to breed, and they also keep running off the edges. Because no matter what I do, they don't want to stay on the island, which is fine. It's just a little annoying. But I'm trying to achieve getting 2 of certain animals so that I can breed them, so that I can get that quest completed. Because that's the current issue that I'm facing. Which is great, because, I mean, we need plenty of bone meal. And we can put the stone knife back there. We can also put the cogwheels back there. I want to keep everything relatively concise because I don't think we can go crazy when it comes to, I don't think we can go too crazy when it comes to certain things yet. And by that, I mostly mean just, like, storage. I don't think there's a storage network system thing that we can go to yet. No, we need to make a stone sword, so let's just do that. Holy, that almost flung me off of the thing when I was trying to open up a chest. That would have been annoying. Okay, we got a stone sword. Now I need an iron level sword. Is that not an iron level sword? It's a tier 3 sword, so... I mean, other than the fact that it's also a katana and not a sword, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal, right? Forget how big the, like, hitboxes of some of these mobs are, because they're actually massive. Fair enough, I guess. Chuck the nuggets into here. Copper we'll keep in there as well. Iron we can store in there. Just gonna offhand it. And I think that's gonna be the end of this episode. I mean, it's been a good, 55-minute recording. So I hope you guys enjoyed. In between episodes, I'm probably just gonna farm and also mine a little bit to hopefully get some stuff. But see you guys next time. GG's. Have a great day. And I will see you guys. Bye-bye.